Good morning. Happy Monday. I'm just letting everyone in from the waiting room. And if you're already here, go ahead and just start to get down on your mat. We're going to be in a supine position on our back. So if you want to put down a blanket or something, go ahead, take your time. I will just wait just 30 more seconds or so just to see if anybody else needs to be let in. Otherwise, just come to your back. And then once you're down on your back, we're going to just bring those soles of the feet together. Or you can have your knees bent. Have those knees fall into each other. Or just have the legs long. It's fine, but position feels good today. You can bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your chest if you like, or just arms up to the sides. Open those palms to the ceiling. Take a big breath into the belly. And release. Gently close the eyes, just sink into the mat. Soften through the face. Just start to take your awareness inward. Watch that breath fill up that belly, expand the rib cage, expands the lungs. Empty the lungs and pull that navel in. Empty the belly. Just continue those cycles of breath. Those waves of breath coming from the tailbone, filling up the belly, filling up the chest, the lungs, and exhaling from the top of the head down to the tailbone. And create space inside of the belly, torso, chest. On the exhalation, emptying your belly completely. Draw that navel in. Just continue watching the breath. Just take a few more breaths here. Letting that breath bring you into the present moment. Releasing any worries, to-do lists on the exhalation. And on the next inhalation, just gently blink the eyes a few times. And you can bring those feet to the mat, knees are bent. We're going to pull that right knee down and up towards the chin. Send that left leg long. And softening through that right hip crease. Nice long deep breaths. Soften through your face, soften your gaze towards the ceiling. Pull that navel in towards that spine. See if that knee can come a little closer to the chin. And release. Send those legs long. We're going to reach through our fingertips. Nice long stretch through the entire body. And release. Bend the knees. I'm going to pull that left knee down and up towards the chin. Lengthen through that right leg. Soften through the left hip, crease. You can close your eyes here. Let your tongue be loose in your mouth. And release, and that leg long. From here, we're going to move into that supine C shape or Bandhanasana. And move those heels over to the right side of the mat, maybe crossing over. And then reaching through those arms, bringing those shoulders over towards the right side, lengthening through the left side of the body. All the way from your hands, your fingertips, wrists, all the way down to that ankle, left ankle. Breathing into that entire side of the body. Starting to wake up the left side of the body. Just a few more breaths here, lengthening, opening to the joints. The hip, knee, armpit. And release. And just scooting back to the center of the mat. You're gonna bend those knees and just rock those knees from right to left just a few times. Giving that low back a nice stretch. And lengthen those legs. Take that shape on the other side, left ankle to the left side of the mat. Right ankle comes to meet that ankle. And then reaching through those fingertips. Lengthen, waking up the right side of the body. And breathing into the hip, knee, the ankle. Armpit into the side of the torso. Maybe just imagine those ribs just opening, creating space. Nice long deep breaths into the belly. And gently release. So scoot back to center. Bend those knees. We're gonna reach up to that right heel, lengthen. It can be bent, maybe it's straight. You can grab it if you like. We're just lengthening. Just for a breath or two here. And then release. You bring that ankle to that left knee. Keep that foot flexed. Press that right knee away from the body. I'm going to tuck that tailbone so that low back is connected to the mat. Let that lower rib cage feel heavy. You can stay here, or if you feel like grabbing the back of that left hamstring, you can do that. Maybe straighten that leg. If you're just feeling extra flexible. Breathing into any tight areas, softening on the exhalation. And go ahead and release that right foot down. I'm going to bring that left leg up towards the ceiling, press with that left heel, that leg bent or straight. You can grab the back of the hamstring, or you don't have to, but just lengthening through that hamstring, pressing through the heel, pressing into the bottom of that right foot. Still keeping that low back attached to the mat, and release. Left foot flex, bring that left ankle to the right knee, press that left knee away from the body. Press that low back into the mat. And grab the back of the right hamstring if you like, just as an option. Straighten that right leg for breath. Soften through that left hip. So keeping that face relaxed, so softening that gaze to the ceiling. And release. Both feet down. We're just gonna bring those knees just kind of above the hips. Bring those arms out to a T and then drop those knees to the right side of the body. A gentle supine twist here. You can just kind of find what's comfortable right now. You can't stretch that top leg. I'm gonna stay here. Keeping both of those shoulders on the mat. Releasing to that twist, feel that opening in the left hip, left side of the body. Nice big breaths, deep, even breaths into the belly. Always coming back to the breath, even if we wander away for a minute or two. And bring those knees back to center. I'm just going to slowly drop them to the other side. Release into that twist. Soften to that right hip. You can close your eyes again here for a few breaths if you like. those knees back in. And cross those ankles, grab the backs of the hamstrings, but roll a few times. Just kind of giving that back a quick massage before we come up to a seated position. And come up. Take your time, just get to a seated position. If you want to grab something to sit on, go ahead and do that. Yeah. And from here, we're just going to plant our sit bones down. Ground down into that foundation. Rise up from the tailbone to the top of the head. And from here, bring those hands just kind of behind the hips. Maybe tented or all the way down. I'm going to inhale. Gentle chest opening, we're lifting to the sternum. Pulling those shoulders just back, almost like we're holding a pencil between the shoulder blades. Breathe. Take your gaze over to the right. And release over to the left. And release. And come up. And just start to connect that breath with that movement. So we're going to inhale up, reach, reach. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale. Hands to heart center. Inhale. Just going to reach up through those fingertips, active through those arms. Bring those palms together. If it feels okay, just bring those hands down towards the back. So we're still pressing up through those elbows, all the way from those hips up through the elbows. Release and just keep that right hand down the back. Grab that right elbow. Lengthen through that right side of the body. And release, we'll just switch sides. Lengthen, press up through that left elbow. And release. And bring that right arm across the body and just sort of grab towards the shoulder. I'm just going to give that arm kind of a massage. And pull it across the body. And release with that other arm across the body. Grabbing, sort of guide that arm, quick arm massage. And release. And then from here, we're going to bring this fingertips to the shoulders. And we're going to bring those elbows to kits in front of us, where we just touch. You really feel that, you should really feel that opening in the upper back. You're going to lift up through the elbows as far as you can. And then going ahead and going up towards the ceiling, out to the sides, almost making a circle all the way down and forward. Bring those together. Just one more quick circle. And they're making big circles with those elbows. And release. Inhale up those arms again. We're going to take it V. Hold those elbows down. Exhale. Inhale. Rest those hands on the back of the head, and we'll just bring that chin in towards that chest. Just let the gravity, not pushing your neck, just kind of let those hands relax on the back of your head, lengthening the back of the neck. And release the hands down. Inhale up, reach out through those left fingertips, and we'll bring that right ear down to the right shoulder. Lengthen. Gentle with the neck. You can add this hand. Just let the weight guide your ear towards the shoulder. Still breathing into that belly. Just notice what your breath is doing. And release, inhale. We're just gonna carve a line with our nose up towards the ceiling. And release back. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head, and exhale, bring that left ear down to that left shoulder, reach those right fingertips. Reach over with this left hand as an option. And release. From here, bring that chin down to that chest again. And we're just gonna start drawing circles with our nose. So bring that ear towards that right shoulder, around. Left ear towards the left shoulder, just making those big circles. And switch directions. And slow circles. Switch directions again. Should feel really good on your neck. Nothing should hurt. And just one more time. Make those circles smaller and smaller. And just back to center. Press through that tailbone, lift through the crown, and then we're gonna come forward. Bring those hands in front of us, just walking forward. Heavy in the hips, let those hips just melt, release. Connect with the mat. And I'm walking those hands forward. Nose down towards the floor, lengthen through the back of the neck. Hold that navel towards the spine. See if you can walk those hands a little further away. And walk those hands over to the right. Reaching through those left fingertips. We're pulling back with that left hip. The hips are heavy. And walk back to center. And then over to the other side. Pull back with that right hip. Reach those right fingertips. And back to center. Walk those hands up just a little further away. One more breath here. And walk them back in. Lengthen the spine. And then exhale, bring that right hand over. Reach over with that left arm. Lifting up and over. And coming down to the place where you feel that stretch. Spin open, just bring that thumb back, opening that heart. And release. Bring that left hand to that right knee. Right hand comes behind you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, take that gaze towards the back of the room. Inhaling, lengthening to the crown of the head. Exhale, twisting. And gently release, slowly unwind. We're gonna come down to that left side, reach up and over. Reach those right fingertips. Lengthening to the torso, to the armpit, the arm. Take that thumb backwards, spin open. Gaze up towards the ceiling. And release, come down. The hand comes to the knee, left hand comes behind you. Lift and then twist. Inhale, lengthen one more time through the crown of the head. Exhale, twisting just a tiny bit deeper. And gently unwind, release. From here, we're going to move into a tabletop position. Go ahead and bring those knees under the hips. Those wrists are under the shoulders. Pressing down through the tops of those feet. Just kind of coming back and forth a few times. Stretch out those wrists. And come to a neutral position. Inhale, push that belly down. We're going to pull those shoulders back. Cow facing. Exhale, or tuck the tailbone. We're going to round the shoulders. Pull that needle in. Cat. Inhale, back to cow. Pushing that belly down. Exhale. Rounding the shoulders, pulling that navel in. Just a few more times at your own pace. Just switching between that cat and cow, warming up the spine in that direction. Come back to a neutral position. I'm going to press to that right heel. Soften. Make sure you're pressing up, not collapsing into that left side. And then activating that hamstring, we're going to lift. And then you can add that left arm if you like. With pulling up to that belly, core strong to help your balance. And release. Inhale to cow. You're opening your mouth this time. Loosen that jaw. Tuck the tailbone. Draw the navel in. Rounds back. And inhale to a neutral position. Exhale, take that left heel back. Softening through that calf muscle. And taking that awareness to the inner left thigh. We're going to lift, level off those hips. And stay here, or add that right arm. Reach those right fingertips. One more easy breath here. And release down, keep those knees wide. Send those hips back, reach forward, let that forehead come down to the mat and just let go for a breath or two here. Just let everything sink down for one more breath. And gently come back up. Bring that left hand right underneath your face. And we're going to inhale up with that right arm. Gentle twist. Exhale, just kind of thread the arm, but don't come down yet. Just do one more time. Inhale, reach. And then exhale, go ahead and bring that arm all the way under. Reach forward with that left arm. Letting that right shoulder just melt, release down to the mat. Breathing into the belly. Still keeping those nice, deep, even breaths. And bend that left arm. We're going to press up. That right hand underneath your face. We're just going to inhale, reach, exhale, just kind of reach through underneath. Gentle twist. Inhale up. And exhale, go ahead and bring that shoulder down. Reach forward with that right arm. And melt that shoulder into the mat. And bend that right arm. We're going to press up. From here, I'm going to bring that those knees back in, and then just pressing out to that right leg. I'm going to let those hips ease back, reach forward with the arms. Maybe that forehead comes all the way down. Pressing into the top of that left foot and into the outside of that right foot. Just ease those hips back one more time. And that stretch in the shoulders. And release. We're going to walk our hands up and then come up all the way. And then from here, we're going to reach up through that left arm and then reach down to that right leg. And then coming over. Pressing all the way from that left knee through those left fingertips. And release. Coming back to the tabletop position, and then we'll bring that left leg out. Pressing to the top of that right foot. Reaching forward, and then letting those hips ease back. And release, walk those hands in. We're going to engage that core, then lift up. Lifting up through that right arm. Bring that left hand down the left leg, and then we'll reach up and over. Pressing into the top of that right foot. And release. Bring those knees together, and we're gonna come into puppy. Just reaching forward. Press those palms, let that forehead come down. And release, just move to your tummy. And bring those palms underneath your shoulders. Tightening everything. Pressing everything down into the mat and then inhaling up that chest for cobra if that feels okay on your low back. And release down. Those arms out to the side. Bend those knees, just rock them a few times. And then getting ready for Sphinx pose. Working those elbows towards the body. Pressing down through those forearms. Tightening to the glutes, to the quads. Pressing up. Just skipping this if there's any discomfort in your low back. And release. Come down. Just rest your cheek on your hands, and we'll go ahead and bend the knees and just rock them back and forth, side to side. And legs down, hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to press up. Tuck those toes, spread out those fingers, and just those hips back for a quick downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal out those heels. Soften to the backs of the knees, to the backs of the legs. And release down. We're going to inhale up and then bring that right foot forward. So bringing that knee over that ankle. Come down. Plant that left hand. We're going to inhale up here. You can bring this hand out further to the side. We open up here just a little bit for breath. And exhale back down. And then inhaling up, we're going to reach up. And bring that right hand down to that right hip. We're just going to reach over that left arm. So really pulling that navel in for stability here. And release. Come down and we'll lengthen that front foot, front leg. Soften through that right knee, back of the right knee. Bring that nose towards the shin, right toes up towards the ceiling. And release the hips forward. I'm gonna bring those hands to the inside of the foot. Maybe walk them out to the side a little bit for a lizard. Softening to that right hip crease, hip flexor. And walk those feet back. Take those back toes. And come up for crescent. So just keep those feet about hip width apart. The heel can be off the back, up on the back. And we're just gonna inhale up, bring those arms up. Just want that knee over that ankle. Lifting through that back hamstring. Just a few easy breaths here, pulling those shoulders away from the ears. And release, straighten those legs, bring those toes towards the side of the mat. We're gonna inhale, lengthen. Just take a quick forward fold here. Bring those hands down. Keep those hips over the ankles, don't sway back. Press through those feet, suck up those kneecaps. Nose comes a little closer to the floor, to the mat. And then go ahead and walk those hands over to the left. We'll just come into a low lunge on the left side. Plant that right hand. We're gonna open up just for a breath here. Maybe try to open that chest to the ceiling. And bring that hand out further towards the side. And release back down. And really checking your foundation for stability here. We're gonna inhale up, reach those arms. And bring that left hand to that left hip. We're gonna reach over that right arm. And release. Go ahead and come down. Then we'll soften back, pull those hips back, come into that runner stretch. Hinge at the hips. Left toes towards the ceiling. Return to your breath. Just check and see what your breath is doing. And release. Take those hips forward. And bring those hands to the inside of the foot, out to the side. Soften through that hip flexor. And bring those hands back. I'm gonna tuck the toes. Get ready for crescents and then lengthening. And pull that navel in, slowly come up and reaching up. And lifting through that back hamstring. And then release down. Bring that right knee down. That left knee come to tabletop, and then we'll come to a seated position. Sit on something here if you like. And for Dandasana, we're just gonna bring those legs straight out in front of us. Lengthen, press those heels, press down with the hands, lengthening through the spine. And inhale up, fold forward to the hips, grab the shins, ankles, the feet. Pull that navel in and bring the nose closer to the shins. Still sucking up those kneecaps, pressing through the backs of the knees. And release. Come up, bend that left knee. Press that right heel. Turn towards the length of the leg and just slide those hands down. Nose comes down towards his knee. Active in that right leg, pressing that left knee down. Nice release into that stretch. And release up. Go ahead and switch sides. Lengthen and turn towards that lengthened leg. Slide those hands down. Nose comes down to the knee, to the shin. Release. Straighten that right leg. Press those hips forward for a deeper stretch. And then bring those hands out in front of you. Just walk them forward. Nose comes down towards the floor. Pressing through those heels, sucking those kneecaps up still. And walk those hands in. Bring the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana. Pressing those knees down. Tall breath in and hinging at the hips. Come forward. And lengthening through the back of the neck. And inhale up. Bring those legs out in front of you. We're going to reach forward while we roll down to our back. So engage your core. Just inch by inch coming down. And then when you're here, pressing those feet down into the mat. Press those arms. Come up for a bridge pose. So just pressing. Take those hips up to the ceiling. Engage those hamstrings, glutes. Every inhalation takes those hip points closer to the ceiling. And release down. Pull those knees in towards the chest. And just rock from side to side. Take those knees in a circular motion if that feels good. Opposite direction. And taking those arms out to a T, just drop those knees to the right side of the body. Straighten that top leg. Take that gaze in opposite direction for a deeper twist. Let's release into that twist. And pull those knees in. Just drop them to the other side of the body. Release into that spinal twist. And pull those knees in. I'm going to bring those knees towards those armpits. Grab the outsides of the feet. Come to happy baby. And rock here. Let that low back release towards the mat. Soften to the hip flexors. And releasing those feet down. Gonna get into your position for Shavasana. So you can take those feet together if you like. If that feels good, or just take those legs along. If you want to put a blanket over you, you can. Or maybe something under your head. Just whatever will help you release down into that pose. Getting comfortable. Let those feet kind of flop out to the sides. Open up those palms to the ceiling. A big breath. Just soften down, close the eyes. Let everything release into the mat. I'm watching the breath. Just feeling a sense of calm just wash over you. Releasing into the mat on the inhalation. And breathing in relaxation on the inhalation. Start to soften through the face. Let the muscles around the eyes start to soften. Muscles in the cheeks. Your tongue is loose in your mouth. Your jaw releases. And down the sides of the neck, the front and the back. Letting your shoulders melt into the mat. Then down through the triceps, biceps, forearms, palms, fingers. Arms widen, soften. Back releases, the low back and the hips, and the glutes all melt down into the mat. The hamstrings widen, soften. The quads feel heavy. Those calf muscles release, the ankles, the feet, the toes, all soften and widen, release into the mat. Every muscle just releases and surrenders into the mat. Just continue to follow the breath, breathing in relaxation and releasing on the exhalation. And slowly start to bring your awareness back to your body. And rock your head from side to side. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take a big breath. And slowly rolling over onto the right side of your body. Let's take one last breath here. And then press yourself up to a seated position. Bring your hands to heart center. And gently open the eyes. Blink a few times. Namaste. Well, thanks to everyone for being here this morning. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope to see you on Wednesday.